memory. You're listening to ABC Radio Canberra. If you're involved with a community garden, or even if you live in an area where there's a community garden, you probably know the benefit that can be had from having a community garden. And in good news today, there's been a number of grants given out to different community groups right across Canberra, North and South and Central Canberra, for community-focused gardens. And one of them that stood out to me as rather intriguing for what they're doing is a collaboration. And the collaboration is between Dirty Jane's, Argyle Housing and also Vinnie's. And joining us is Phillip Jones. He's a media advisor with Vinnie's. And I think he's just come from the ceremony. Is that right?
Yep, straight from the stop. It wasn't raining when we left, but we got out just in time. But a lovely event to mark the occasion of his grants from the City government.
Yeah, isn't it fabulous? And so the idea of a collaboration, why was that important? Like, what's all the different groups bringing?
Well, we all have a various strengths, and we all kind of have a passion to make that space really beautiful and inclusive and accessible. But it came out of the 2021 CEO Sleepout. So Jane Crawley from Dirty Jane's, she had this genesis of activating this space that they've got. And if anybody knows the car park out there, it's just a car park. There's really, when you drive in the driveway, you won't be able to miss it when you come down the hill into that space. And so she approached Argyle Housing and ourselves with this idea of let's create something special together for the people that's vulnerable in our community.
Yeah. And so that's where the space is going to be, at Dirty Jane's. Yes. And then the idea that, because often with community gardens, not all the time, but often they're sort of like in a neighbourhood and people come and grow their own veggies there that live close by. But this is a different.
It is a bit different, yeah. So we're calling it the Good Works Garden. And so the idea is it's going to go food and support the residents of Argyle Housing who manage places like Ainsley Village and our Blue Door program. And so these are people part of what we call our community inclusion programs. So they're quite, they may have become a bit vulnerable or learn to get back in the community. So through supported programs, we're going to have, if they volunteer, it's going to be volunteer run and supported by us. Will they be able to grow their food, learn some skills and enjoy, a beautiful space? And we'll actually use that food for our services as well.
Which is such a great idea, because I think being able to grow, even if you're just growing herbs or growing just, say, salad, like we all know how expensive lettuce is or whatever it might be, it's such a skill. So there'll be that element of empowering them if they want to follow this.
Exactly right. And it also has the garden will evolve in all senses of the word. We'll open up to community groups who want to be part of it, other volunteers. We also run like youth programs and things. So I think it's a really exciting dynamic, and it's taken a few months to get us to this point. Like Argyle Housing, for example, they're a not-for-profit community housing provider, and they manage to secure and affordable housing for people on low and moderate incomes, and they run things like Ainsley Village, as we talked about, Gungahlin Common. And while Dirty Jane's are bringing this creativity, and really active in that space, and each of us are kind of, as I said, playing to our strengths and shaping the project, working together on the project and building it. So as it stands at the moment, it's quite exciting. It's starting to take shape. So thanks to the government and local businesses who have donated their support and time and resources, we can now, the plot is being mapped out. So about 300 square metres eventually it'll be. The fencing's just gone up, I think, yesterday. We've got a couple of cute little bathing huts we're going to use to store our equipment in. And the signs will go up pretty soon, and literally people will be able to follow the growth of the garden over the coming months.
I love that idea. That's a pretty decent space, though, 300 square metres.
Yeah, but it is going to be quite cool because it'll stretch down. It's a long, narrow space.
Yeah, narrow space.
And we'll do it in stages and stages and stages. So it'll be sustainable growing. We want to do some Indigenous planting and understand, and as I said, we'll have community groups down the track and youth programs and things, and they can just really add to the space.
I imagine accessibility is pretty important.
Very much so.
So how will you, given you're saying it's a long, narrow space, how do you do that?
So we've designed it especially with will be a ramp in from the car park. We'll have raised beds. I'm not a gardener, but I know we have very, very fabulous beds. Our project manager's done a fantastic job designing those, and space between those for people we know who need accessible access. So that's all designed implicit in the mapping of the layout.
And I wonder too, how will you get people there, given a lot of these people are vulnerable you're talking about, like actually getting them to the site? Is that, it won't be something where they'll just drop in, it'll be sort of programs run specifically?
That's correct, yes, that's right. So we provide a range of support, and Argyle Housing likewise will do this. So we'll manage these sort of process. And against volunteers, they'll have to want to be there and things. But as time goes on, we will have open up the space to other groups, I think.
What are you most excited about with this project?
I'm very fortunate. I have this great job as Director of Fundraising, Marketing and Comms at Vinnie's, and it's absolutely so rewarding to have something like this collectively, the three organisations working together in such a really positive way, to create something that's just going to be, I think, really beautiful, very nourishing. As you said before, people would, know the value of a community garden. I just came from one, like we said, that this presentation of the grants, and it was just really fabulous to see this creativity in the community, and to take something that at the moment, and is, as I said, just a car park barren, but and transform it into something that's going to be quite lovely. I think it's a really rewarding.
It's also the real therapeutic benefit, isn't there, to being around a garden, but also putting your fingers in soil and planting or watching things grow. I think that's not that everyone that would use some of these services might have mental health issues, but I think for some people this might be a real positive thing. Yeah,
we really see it as a healing opportunity. And also life skill opportunity as well. And we'll have that virtual circle of, in some cases they'll grow the food, then they'll cook the food and eat the food, sort of thing. So, and we know through places like the Blue Door, they're doing about 2,000 drop-in sort of meals, a month and things like that. And to see that food, or when it might even go to our night patrol, we'll see how it all plans out. And I think it's just going to be something that's just going to evolve over time.
What a great idea, though. Then take that to the night patrol and
yeah.
And you might even become a gardener out of this.
I think my wife would laugh at that suggestion. But yes, I mean, as I said, it's such an exciting time, and there's another angle to it, which is an environmental angle.
Yeah.
Namely, I was told that that's quite a hot spot. I mean, Fishwick's not known for its greenery, so I think it's going to make a nice ecological difference.
You're going to re-green Fishwick.
One plot
at least try.
One bunch of letters at a time.
Hey, it's been a real pleasure, and thanks so much for dropping in.
It's a pleasure, Georgia. Thanks for your interest.
You're welcome. That's just one of the fantastic projects that have been given a little bit of money as part of these community garden grants through the ACT government. And our guest there was Phillip Jones from Vinnie's. You're listening to ABC Radio. I'm Georgia Steins. I did, of course, promise something, didn't I?